can't believe they spent £200 million in January and didn't buy a striker. It's naive. It's criminal where Chelsea are in the league. And it's amazing how many times I've watched Chelsea this season. They play well all the way up until the penalty box, and then they can't put the ball in the back of the net. But also, is that a bit of a Potter problem? Because he had exactly the same problem at Brighton, and Brighton are scoring loads of goals now. Let's take our first caller of the evening, though. It's Phil. He's a Chelsea fan. He says Potter's got to go, Phil.
Yeah, good evening, lads. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. You've had enough of Potter, though, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, I'm up and down. I think a lot of the fans are. And look, we've had his sport over the years, and I know that with all what we've won and, all the trophies we've won over the years with Abramovich. And now, you've got to bring in someone like Bowley, and he's got the money, he's splashed out all this. Then you've got to have someone to drive the ship. You've got to have someone who knows what he's doing, and his pedigree, Potter, is not the same as it is for, all right, Brighton, fair enough. But this is Chelsea we're talking about, And he's got his positions of the players that he's playing in them as well. Some of the players in the positions are out of position. I looked at the team selection today. That's enough there to win a game. And you're saying about a striker. But City won the league without a striker. There's other teams that have won big trophies without a striker. And Chelsea do need a striker, I admit that. But come on, the players, the amount of money they've spent, you've got to be doing better than this. And if we've given him chances and chances. We've got Liverpool during the week, and then we've got Real Madrid in the Champions League. They always seem to play better in the Champions League. I don't know what it is, but they probably go on and win it. That's Chelsea for you. But under Potter, no. I mean, you've got managers out there. Why you got rid of Tuchel, I really don't know. I don't know the reason behind that. I really don't. And he's doing great now. Bayern Munich, first game against Dortmund. What is it, 4-0, 3-0, 4-0?
Yeah.
The man's a legend, and Tuchel was good. He was going for a divorce, I think, at the time, and they could have given him time. All right, if you're going to give Potter time, why didn't you give Tuchel time? There's managers out there now. Who can you go to? Mourinho, Enrique, this other guy they're talking about who was manager of Bayern Munich. But anybody, but someone who's got a pedigree, someone who's actually won things and can see the players that we've got and put them in the right positions as well.
Thanks, Phil. Brilliant way to start the show. He's Potter out. Phil's Potter out. I think we've got a lot of calls coming in, so I want to try and whiz through them. I'm going to be a bit responsible on this one because I've always said I think Chelsea should give Potter time, but let's be honest. Chelsea fans have just lost. It's their football club. We're going to give you your platform. And what I would say is that I sort of agree with Phil. The reason as a non-Chelsea fan, I want Potter to stay is because he's an English coach I like at Brighton. But I always said, I felt like Villa was the job for Potter. It's a big step. And that's why I want him to be given time. But in my club, it's a Chelsea club. And those Chelsea fans tonight, it's your platform. Gary, Chelsea fan. Also, Potter to go, Gary. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Oh, worst Chelsea manager in 25 years. Good evening, Mark. Sorry, I do apologise for that one. Good evening to you. I've been on your show many times. The guy's out of his depth. I was not a Potter fan at the start, and the quicker that man has gone away from our club, the better. I mean, worst Chelsea manager in 25 years, and we had Villas Boas, and he was poor. This guy is out of his depth.
Gary, just talk to me about the match, because I watch Chelsea a lot, and what as a non-Chelsea fan, I look at it and I go, they create so many chances, and they're quite good to watch. And I just look at it and go, would it not be a shame to get rid of a manager when he hasn't got a striker? Is that not a bit of a lifeline to him, or do you just think it's just not a good fit?
It's not a good fit. As a previous caller said, Guardiola won the league at City without Haaland, without a recognised centre forward. Potter's had 8 months in charge now. Are you telling me if Guardiola had that same set of players, we would be where we are now? Not a chance. The guy is out of his depth. He plays square pegs and round holes. He persists with Havertz up top. He's not a centre forward.
Yeah,
he persists with Koulibaly at the back. Koulibaly was at fault for the first goal. Shocking defending. He was the last man. He could see everything. He should have been screaming at Cucurella that was his ball, and he should have gone through Cucurella to get it. It's just not good enough. But that comes from the manager. He picks the team. He sets the tone. He sets the style. everything that happens on that pitch stems from his decision-making each week, from what he sees on the training ground. It's not good enough. We'd be better off without him yesterday. He's got to go. He's got to be gone out of our club. He's killing our club.
There we go. Gary says Potter's killing the club. He's got to go. One positive for Chelsea, and there won't be many this Saturday night, I'll be honest with you, but one positive, you've got Liverpool on Tuesday and then you've got Real Madrid on the horizon. If he loses both of those games, I think you might get what some Chelsea fans want. But I would still say I want Potter to stay. He hasn't had a pre-season and he hasn't got a striker. But I can admit that it gets to a point where you can't say every week, oh, look at all the chances they create. I find it amazing. When they lost against Dortmund in the Champions League first leg in Germany, same thing that's happened tonight. Loads of chances created and they lost the game without scoring. That isn't acceptable. You can say it's an excuse. You can say, well, with the striker, maybe we'd be better, but you should still put the ball in the back of the net. You can't be missing that many chances. And the manager could change the team around, and he does persist with HAVERTZ a lot. So look, I think he's got to take the criticism. And I think that Liverpool game on Tuesday becomes absolutely huge, because I think that, he is starting to skate on thin ice, as are other managers. We will be talking a little bit later about Leicester. I don't know how Brendan Rodgers is still in a job, but let's talk to Paul, another Chelsea fan. Who do you look, Potter to go, Paul, but there's a running theme here. Who would you get in to replace him? Because right here, right now, lots of relegation clubs have got this problem, Paul. Would you not wait till the summer anyway? Because that's when most managers want the job.
Listen, I know that always talk. I don't know if it's paper talk or what. We're supposed to be getting that Bayern Munich manager, and he's only lost 2 games and he got the boot. So, like I said, the previous caller said, I don't know why we got rid of Tuchel. I would have stuck with him. And as you said, he was going through serious time in his personal life. But I think I wasn't a fan of Graham Potter to begin with. So I don't know why we're sticking by him. I think he's a disease in the club. His team selection today, you put Reece James at centre-half, you play Loftus-Cheek at right wing. Like, is he picking the names out of the hat? Does he actually know? I can understand if Potter's doing things and I can say, well, he's trying here. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But each week gets worse and worse. Like, we should have drawn the game against Everton, or we should have won that game, and we can wait for the draw. For me, he's killing the club. He's actually killing the club. And I've seen enough. Enough is enough. I've seen it tonight. That was a joke.
Paul, James on YouTube saying he doesn't stick to the same team every week, which I think is a problem for him. You mentioned it there. I've said it before. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I was quite excited when they got Potter, because as an up and coming manager, it's a massive opportunity. But I think a lot of Chelsea fans weren't happy with the appointment because they felt it was too big for him. Do you think that's a problem? He's never really had the fan base on side, and with the results not there, you're not going to get the patience when fans went on side anyway.
Coming into it, he's punching above his weight. It's like it's like anyone around them, for example, anyone in the crowd, and they're saying, okay, you're going to get the opportunity to run Chelsea Football Club. They're going to be like ecstatic. They're going to be over the moon, of course. Yeah. I don't think the players have confidence in him as a manager, because he ain't won anything. Where we are now, situated in the league, is where he was with Brighton. He ain't won nothing. So I don't see what the expectations of the players are going to be, because it's like he's trying to give directions and stuff, and they're going to be like, oh, what have you done?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's like, I wouldn't have given him the opportunity in the first place. And it comes from, as I said, I've said this to my dad, we're a lot worse off now. We were better off before we spent the 600 million. We're worse off now because he's got more players to. I don't know. It's a real headache. But for me,
you're right, Paul. You're right. You know what? Thanks for calling in, Paul. You're right, and that's a great point there from Paul, because Chelsea have spent, what was it, 200 million on Tuchel, sacked him 2 weeks later. They've spent another 200 million on Potter. If they got into a position where they end up sacking Graham Potter, you've spent 400 million pounds on 2 managers. It's ridiculous, and you've got to look at that. Look. Todd Boehly, some would say, is doing a good job at Chelsea. It has been a bit all over the place, and I think they do need some consistency. I certainly think they've got to get to the end of the season. Sacking Potter now, I don't think there's many managers that would fancy that job. There's still 10 games to go. I think they've got to get to the summer and reassess. But look, as I say, it will not be easy when you've got Liverpool and Real Madrid on the horizon in the next couple of days and in the next couple of weeks. And if they play like they did today against Real Madrid and not put the ball in the back of the net, then Real Madrid are going to punish them. And I think even Liverpool will.